Hello and welcome to my humble abode. I am Chef Kayvon and today we are going to cook a rice and shrimp casserole in less than 1 hour, or as we say in Spanish, ARROZ con camarones en menos de una hora. If you're a housewife, a stay-at-home dad, or a same-sex domestic couple with kids, time is of the essence, and finding ways to cook great food in a short amount of time is at a premium. That is why I am providing this easy to make recipes for you and your family's enjoyment. Before we get started, answer this riddle. Who is the private eye that solves crimes with sheer luck? If you know the answer, leave a comment below. Like the video and subscribe to our channel. Now let's get started with our shrimp casserole. Okay, so first let's introduce the recipe to you guys. So to do this shrimp casserole, what we're gonna need is Gulf shrimp. You could get this frozen at the supermarket or wherever you buy your seafood. Get a 70 to 90 count. Okay, this is a good sized shrimp. Now, you could use any size shrimp. I mean, I've used 24, 21, 25 shrimp or medium shrimp or even large shrimp. But if you want bite-sized bits of shrimp in your shrimp and rice casserole, this is the best size to get. We're gonna use some green peas. You could get that in your supermarket as well. We'll use the Holy Trinity, which is the green peppers, the onions, and the celery. We're gonna be using cream of shrimp. So make sure you could get that at the supermarket. There are some places that don't have it, so just look around for it before you start this recipe. Also, the Rotel diced tomatoes and green chiles. So this is the original version, or it's the mild version, it's really what it is. This is tomatoes, diced tomatoes with like jalapenos type stuff in there. So it's a little spicy, but it'll be mild. It won't be that bad. We're gonna get some roasted red peppers in the rice as well to make the design nice, and the taste is really good taste. We need garlic. We'll also need cumin, some saffron. So saffron is to color the rice. So you're gonna need some. Now saffron is very expensive. If you don't want to buy saffron, what you could do is you could get some turmeric and use some tomato paste, and that will color the rice as well. Here we have some bay leaves that we'll be using in the recipe. Obviously salt and pepper. Now we're gonna do this recipe the quick way. So we're gonna use from Mahatma this yellow rice recipe. It's seasoned rice, so it's here already. So you don't have to get, the saffron in there. But we will use the Holy Trinity for it, so it could give it that added flavor. Also olive oil, so I like to cook with olive oil. I like extra virgin olive oil. I think that has superior taste. You could get it at Costco or Sam's, or even at your supermarket. And cheddar cheese. So we're gonna give it a nice cheddar cheese around the rice and the top. I think it will look delicious. Now, I want to remind everyone, shredded cheddar cheese, you have to shred it from the block, because when you go out and buy shredded cheese in a package at the supermarket, that's not really shredded cheese. They say it's shredded cheese, but it's mostly potato, and it's not going to melt. It tastes like shredded cheese somewhat, but it's not. So keep that in mind. Get a block. Do not get the shredded cheese. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's start the adventure. Let's get going. All right, so now we're gonna chop the vegetables. Just wanna show you how I go about chopping my vegetables. So this is an onion. So I usually, chop the sides, and then with the knife, just sort of get that outer skin out. So here we have a perfectly you so open, cut onion for me. Then what I do is I cut it this way, right? I bring it this way, I just have it this way, and I cut it like this. So here we have it there, and then I cut it this way. All right, so you want to have the onion chopped as much as possible. So what I do, all right, is because you don't want to have big chunks of vegetables inside of the dish. So you want to have them as small as possible. So first, so you could actually extract the taste into the rice and into the shrimp. So what I do is I put it in a food processor right here. So let's go, and then if there's parts that are suspect, don't put them in there. There we go. Let's do this here. Now let's go ahead and chop right here. Now it's out of place, you put it back in place. And make sure you don't get cut. Make sure your knives are sharp. The best way for not getting cut is to have sharp knives. If the knife is not sharp enough, that's where you could get into trouble. Okay, so here, you go ahead and put all this in here. Use the food processor and just chop it. And then once you see it gets reduced, then you'll actually be able to see it. So the size is chopped. It's fairly fine, and that's the size of the vegetables that you want. And I'll do this with the celery as well. So let's throw that away over there. And, we're just going to have, cut this into place, into small pieces. One stalk of celery is fine. And then you just cut it. You do the same thing with the green pepper. So obviously you want to take this area out first and just take it out, and then we take these interior white areas out. So you don't want any of these white areas, so you want to take as much of them out as possible. So let's do this right here. So you cut it just like this. That's what I do. So let's take this right here. Getting them nice chopped up size. So there we have it. So I'm going to put this in the food processor, and we'll get right back into our next scene just now. Here we have the celery, the onion, the green pepper, and garlic chopped. Our next step is to cook the shrimp and the vegetables in olive oil. Okay, so we're ready to cook the shrimp and the vegetables, but I want to tell you something about the shrimps first. Almost all shrimp that you buy has been frozen. Unless if you live in a city like Miami or New Orleans, where they could get the shrimp off the bay and into the counters to sell you, chances are your shrimp is frozen. And that's okay. So let's go ahead and move on and let's start cooking. All right, so let's go ahead and use some olive oil. Let's put this in the pan. Okay, that will heat up. And we are going to get the vegetables. All right, so this heats up fairly quick, just as soon as it's in there, not too much oil. And let's go ahead and put the vegetables in there. Have everything, mix everything really well. And we'll come back in 5 minutes. Okay, so we are now ready. Let's go ahead and put the shrimp into this. So we put the shrimp in. We go ahead and get some cumin. And let's get 1/4 teaspoon of cumin in there. Okay, got that in there. Let's go ahead and put some salt. Not too much salt. Seafood usually, has salt in it, so you don't want to overdo it with the salt. And let's go ahead and put some pepper in there. We got that done. And let's go ahead and let it cook. All right, next step is to use the Rotel. Do not drain the Rotel, just pour it on top, just like that, and mix it all in. Mix it all in, and you can smell the aroma. It's really a delicious dish that we're making. And you'll see that the shrimp starts turning pink. When the shrimp starts turning pink, that's when you want to turn it off. You don't want to overcook because the shrimp will get rubbery. Let's cook the rice. We are going to microwave the rice, and the instructions to cook the rice actually in the back. So you just follow the instructions, you put it in the microwave. After it's cooked, then we're gonna bring them out and mix it in with the shrimp. So let's cut this. And pour the rice in. I already put a cup of water in. You have to have 3 cups. And then you will mix it up, put it in the microwave, and we're ready to go. Okay, so now next we have to put in the red peppers. This have been already chopped up. And this I do a little bit thicker than the others, and then we want to add a bay leaf into it and just mix it in and let it simmer till it's done. And it's practically done now. So what we're waiting for now is the rice to be done, and we're going to mix it in with the rice, add the cheese and the cream of shrimp. Okay, so we already have the rice cooked, and we're putting in the shrimp mixture into the rice. So try to put as much of it in as possible. And I could tell you this smells great right now. So let's mix everything together, have it all well mixed. And we are going to add the cream of shrimp. And then we're going to put it into a casserole and cover it with cheese, with the shredded cheese. So let's do this. And we'll put the cream of cheese in there and mix it in. And this is how it looks like. Essentially, we're done. So now we're gonna put it in the oven, okay, with the casserole. We're gonna put it in the oven with the cheese on top. And this will just taste delicious. It will be the best shrimp casserole, shrimp and rice casserole you have ever tasted, guaranteed. And our last ingredient, half a cup of frozen peas. Mix it well in there. And we are ready to get started. So I'm gonna put some in here. This is a little dish that I got from Cracker Barrel some time ago. So let's put some in here. Okay, that's about this. A nice one-person dish. I'm gonna get some of the shredded mozzarella and cover this up just like this. Okay, then we are going to fill this up with the sauce, with the shrimp, the rice and shrimp. All right, so now we're done. I made a little personal pan where I'm putting some shrimp and rice and cheese, cheddar cheese, shredded cheddar cheese on top. And I have this here where I put, it's full of rice and shrimp and cheddar cheese on top. Next step is I'm going to put it in the oven at 350 degrees, and we're gonna leave it there for 30 minutes. Let's show you how it comes out. So here, 350 degrees, we're gonna leave it here for 30 minutes. All right, so it is now done. So let's see how it looks. Woo, nice and boiling. Hi, well, hey, who's the private eye that has sheer luck when he solves crime? Sherlock Holmes. Who else? We just showed you how to do this shrimp and rice casserole under an hour. It's delicious. It's so delicious it should be legal. Let's give it a try. That's so good.